Oh jeez, what did I just read? The Bodysnatchers was the first piece of Doctor Who media to feature the Zygons after the critically acclaimed Terror of the Zygons episode, which was Season 13's very first story. This was Harry's last trip in the TARDIS and a real hit among fans of the show. Please go check out Terror of the Zygons if you haven't already, because it's a really great piece of 70s Who that was written really well and had a great original concept for a villain, which Bodysnatchers does absolutely nothing for. To give you some background on the author, Mark Morris at this stage of his career had never really written for Doctor Who. He had made a few contributions since, but honestly he's never really done anything groundbreaking for the show, other than that audio for Jago and Lightfoot, and man was that good. Morris has mainly been a writer for the horror genre and has only written for Doctor Who really out of nostalgia, recalling in interviews how he was terrified of the Daleks as a child. Unfortunately though, this is what the book just seems to be, just another nostalgia trip for fans. Trust me, I am all for a nostalgia read. Hell, I loved The Eight Doctors, but it needs to add something new and interesting for it to also be a good read. Yeah, so at this stage of the review, I'd probably outline the plot for you guys, but to be honest with you, I'm really struggling to think of what the point or premise of this story even is, or what it's about. It's set in Victorian London, and there are Zygons, and the Doctor kills them all by accident. We'll get to that later. Oh, but Jago and Lightfoot are in it. Wait, sorry, my bad. Jago isn't in this book. Mark Morris has written a book with Lightfoot in it, but hasn't included Jago. Is this some kind of joke? I'm just going to be real with you guys. I genuinely couldn't find a good picture of just Lightfoot on his own. So, yeah, that kind of says it all, really. The pair work so well together and are solidified as a duo. That's pretty much it, though, for the plot. Like, seriously, that's everything. 300 pages for the story, and that's it. Honestly, after just reading a book like Vampire Science, then moving on to this, it was a real shock. And maybe that's why I'm being so harsh on it, but honestly, there's not much to talk about when it comes to the plot. The Zygons have exactly the same motivations as they did in Terror of the Zygons, and the characters have no progression in the book. The plot moves along at a snail's pace, which can be so frustrating sometimes. Look, I know I've slated this book so far, but it does have some positive elements there. The start of the book is actually really good, and I really love the scene where one of the workers at the factory sees one of the Zygons in human form dismembering rotten corpses. On the workbench before Mr. Sears was not a length of timber, but a partly dismembered human cadaver. Tom could hardly help it. He let forth a thin, whooping scream. Instantly, Nathaniel Sears' head snapped up, and now Tom saw something that was possibly even more unbelievable and horrifying than the axe and the blood-splattered apron and the riven corpse. What he saw, what he knew he saw, even though his mind tried to deny it, was that Mr. Sears' eyes were not even remotely human. They were pools of hideously glowing orange light, in the centre of which the pupils were no more than a thin black slit. They were the eyes of the very devil himself. Well, okay then. I really like how it starts out with this kind of investigation that the Doctor launches at the start of the book. This would have been a really strong plotline if Morris had properly followed through with it. Oh yeah, and if it wasn't ruined by a Zygon being on the front cover. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do a mystery monster plot when the villain is literally revealed on the front cover of the book and the synopsis on the back. I wonder which Doctor Who villain will be in this book. I mean, it could be the Cybermen, might well be Syl, or it could be the Ice Warriors. Oh, wait, what? The Zygons are in it? Oh, I never, ever would have guessed that. To be fair, I think I've proved my point now. People seem to be slating this book about the additions to the Zygons needing to drink some kind of weird milk as their food, and some of them being white. To be honest, I don't really see the issue with these additions, and I feel like it expands upon them quite nicely. I mean, they are aliens, after all. This was later picked up on the Big Finish audio Zygon Hunt as well, which is a pretty cool audio, so go check that out. I also really like Lightfoot in this book, even if he wasn't paired with Jago like he should have been. I can hear his character talking even when reading his lines, and he did just such a good job with him. The Doctor and Sam are sort of standard, really. Sam being a little bit annoying at times, but that's a character so far, so I'll kind of let it slide. The one thing that kind of annoyed me about the Doctor in this book, however, is he just seems to state that he has everything under control, rather than showing us. I love a bit of 7th Doctor chess playing with his enemy-style Doctor, but there's literally a bit where the team walked into a trap, and this is how the book reads. "A trap!" said the Doctor with almost childlike wonder. Then he nodded. I thought it might be." "Yeah. If you thought it might have been a trap, then why didn't you do anything about it, you idiot? You're supposed to be the Doctor. I just don't understand why he's written like this. Show us that he's in control rather than telling us. This is something Chris Chibnall also really needs to learn with his run with Jodie Whittaker, and it's something that's starting to really frustrate me. Stop telling me there's an emotion happening. Show me. Don't tell me he's in control. Show me. There's nothing that even really comes of this throwaway line anyway, so it just sort of seems to be there, not really showing or doing anything. These bits, however, are not the book's worst crime. Oh no, the worst part in this book is how the Doctor accidentally kills off all the Zygons. Yeah, how can you accidentally kill off a bunch of Zygons? I literally don't understand it. I have never, and I mean never, seen anything like this in any form of Doctor Who medium I've seen. I mean, do I even need to make a point here? This is blatantly ridiculous and should be removed from EDA canon immediately. Yeah, quite frankly, this is just lazy writing, and I really don't appreciate that in a book that is dealing with a beloved enemy. It's really not acceptable, and that should not be in this book. Like, it really, really downplays this book so much, and I probably would have given this book a higher score if that moment wasn't in it, and that resolution wasn't what it was. Yeah, so overall, the book was a bit of a disappointment, really. Although having some really good bits in it, at times the plot felt too slow and generally had a lot of two-dimensional characters in it that, to be fair, I just can't even remember now writing the review. I understand this was Morris's first contribution to Doctor Who, but I still don't think it changes the fact that the book really read like a fan fiction at times. I can't give this book any more than a 4 out of 10, unfortunately. I really think this book could have been good, but due to the reasons stated in this video, it just wasn't. So, that concludes my review of the book Bodysnatchers by Mark Morris. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, let me know in the comments what kind of Doctor Who reviews you'd like to see in the future. Thanks very much for your support, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.